This is the exact one he wanted. I believe he had to get it direct from far away land. I think this one came from America, and that is because he wanted this very particular colour scheme. There is a dark matter brushless motor packaged in with it, and it is a 34k short. Oh, it's already in there. Okay, all right, hang on. Is it already in there? It must be. So remind me, has somebody else touched the gun? I'm seeing the box from a dark matter short motor, so I'm assuming that's going to be... Ah, you fucking cunt. Right, well that's fucking fun, isn't it? What a fucking tit. Ha! Every fucking day, Luke. Every fucking day. Every fucking day. The worst part is when you use really tough super glue and it gets hot. That's the worst bit of this. I just don't know how I managed to do it every single day. Every fucking day. Where was I? Yeah, this shit. No, it's not in there. Okay. Right, fine. Okay, cheers, dude. Bye. Okay, that there is a roll pin. And they roll pin it in place. If you look down here, I'm trying to get under the light. The smashings. And this here also doesn't retract on a spring. Yeah. Exactly. I'm now knocking this pin through after smashing as much off as I can. If you look at, like, this is the brand new one from another AKM, but it doesn't have this this front sight, so you'd still have the same problem. Okay. I'm doing this. There's the least amount of damage as I possibly can. There you go. That's the pin removed from there. So hopefully now I can just heat this and unscrew it. So this is the replacement. Look. We know it works, but I'm going to try and do his one. Okay, so here it is going on the replacement that I would have used. Okay, so yeah, I have already done this one. You can see it's a bit damaged at the front. But again, that is from where it was originally. Now, bear with me, because this, because it's got a damaged thread, this piece is going to be a little bit hard to get on the first couple of mil, but once it's on, you'll see that there is enough thread there, easily, for that to be absolutely fine in usage. Alright, just don't keep on and off with it. The suppressor goes on perfectly, so... perfect, so I'm not concerned. Let me try and get on video for him as well. Bit of a two-handed job. Okay, final thing I've done. I've just chopped off the end of it. That's the damaged bit. You can see where I've recut it. It's very slightly pissed off to the right, so I'll just smooth it out very slightly now. I've already gone inside and smoothed all that away. You can see where that original hole for the pin was. I've just got to now make that nice and smooth, and you shouldn't get any issues at all, chap, alright? So as you can see, there's loads of shit that you can do, and a lot of this is like to proper fucking trained engineers and you know, machinists. This is just piss poor stuff. They'd be like, no, that's not how you do it. You need all this, this, and this. People don't have that. All right, I'm not going to set up the machine just for that. I'm not going to. This is going to suffice absolutely perfectly. And it's something I shouldn't have to do in the fucking first place, and it's just part of the charge. He's not getting charged extra for it, so before you run your fucking gobs, don't. me give that a quick scrub and I'll carry on. What other little things can we do? It's quite a good little video, isn't it, really? Actual techie things for you. But let's find something else that we can do. Kind of me getting back to my roots, really, on what can be done to the inside of a seamer. It's quite nice, really, isn't it? These are 7mm by the look of it. 6s or 7s. Avoid bearings where you can, unless you've got a great idea. For what this is going to be doing, I'm going to be using solids. So next up, polishing the inside of the gearbox. Why? Sometimes, very much required. This is not their cheapest form of gearbox. This is kind of their better than average gearbox casing for the stuff that Seamer produce. And across the realms of standard AK gearboxes, it's about halfway up the list, right? I'm looking to see if there's anything that when I put the piston in, it's going to just rub on it and cause bits of plastic to shred from the piston. That's what I'm looking for here. And I can feel a little bit there and almost nothing there. And that's through gloves. And we're going to go the simplest route and just abrasive pad. I'm not going to do it over this because we'll get shit everywhere, but I'm literally just going to go for a few seconds. Ready? One. Look here. That's sharp. That could scratch off some plastic, which would go in your gun and do things and whatever down your barrel. Hop unit, hot rubber jam. So let's just make sure we remove as much of that as possible. And you literally don't have to go mental either. Done. If it's not sharp, it's not going to cause you any problems unless your piston is too tight, in which case you've got the wrong piston. Same thing goes for inside these runners here. That's perfect. Let's try this one. Nope, that's perfect. We're looking here as well, just in case the gears might touch on anything, but you don't want the gears being low enough to touch any of this shit anyway. If you are concerned, again, a few seconds of rubby, and we are talking about literally this much time. It's almost nothing, and then done. That's it. Just make sure you get all the shit that you've just created out of it. I use brake cleaner. It's not the cheapest methods. There's loads of cheaper ways of doing it. Somebody has suggested to me to actually buy brake cleaner in like gallon buckets and just dunky. This, I just wham it off and it's done. It takes me so little time. It takes me so little time. That's what you get for drinking a coffee while you're doing this. So, other things. Radiusing. I used to radius everything. Now I'm so I've got the knowledge now to know which ones need radiusing, which ones don't. I've noticed that some gearbox casings are actually made worse with the radiusing it comes with or by applying radiusing. This one is very unlikely to crack, but I'll do the radiusing thing again because people don't fucking listen or understand. Are you ready? It's this simple. I'm going to go in there and go zap, zap, zap. I will actually do this just right here so you can see how quickly I do it. Ready? So this is just an oval shaped one. I'm just going round and round like that. Done. That's it. That's all it needs. It was that much time. You don't want too much. You don't want too little. Remember to clean out all the shit again when you're done. If your gearbox casing is going to break, it's still going to break, and this does not prevent a gearbox casing from fracturing at the front. It doesn't. But what it does do is help just put it off for as long as possible. If you've got an Aries gearbox casing, it's pretty much suggested to do this every fucking time. VFC gearbox casing, same thing. But as you saw, you don't need to go mental. It's very thin amounts of metal. And all that's doing is when the impact hits the corners, it goes wham outwards, we're just spreading it. Rather than it just snapping corner to corner, It's just spreading out their impact. Other shit. Everyone hates V3 trigger springs, and that's why I love the clicker, and that's why clicker's going in this motherfucker, so that I don't have to worry about arguing with this fucking thing. You can also then take this fucking thing with a little bit of jiggery pokery like this. In a scrape, you can use that in a V2 gearbox, but it's not a final solution. Probably shouldn't use that term. It's not the best solution because that can now snap now that we've bent it, so we're not going to. Bearings or bushings, if in doubt, solid bushings. Are bearings quieter? Yes. Do they have less friction? Yes. Does that mean less heat buildup? Yes. Does that mean less amp draw? Yes. Does it mean all these things and lots more? Yes. Is there more of a risk that this can go bang fuck? Yes. If in doubt, solids. Here is my mixture of decent bearings and decent solids. Ones that I trust, but they're not all suited for every single job. If I don't have any 7s left, again, which would blow my mind because I buy so fucking many, I'm going to go with some SHS. It's a shame, didn't want to do that. I prefer the ones I normally use. If in doubt, solid bushings. Are we going to glue them in? No, we are not. I get a bit more shimming room on the ones I normally use, but these will have to do. Look how easy these do drop into place. It's very simple, isn't it? Now, we don't want to bang these in so hard it warps the gearbox casing. I like them to be press fitted. Why am I not gluing them for the final fucking time? I hope. I hope. This gearbox casing is so mass-produced and so cheap that there is 0.0 chance that it's identical to the one next to it. And the chances of these holes being absolutely bob-on perfect for these bushings to sit, and that also means the bushings. What are the chances that these bushings are so perfect? All the same things. That when the gears are in, there's not going to be play. Are the axles on your gears going to be so perfect there's going to be no play? No! None. Fuck all. So, if you were to glue these in place, the actual overall effect that you're going to achieve, you are not going to make the gun more reliable. As it stands, I think one of these will pop out. Yep. On this side, none. Oh, one did. Okay? If you want to do something to stop these from coming out when you're shimming, I understand, tiny bit of crappy thread lock. Alright, I get it. Or, that'll do it as well. With all of the parameters that are going on here, none of this is precisely made. None of it. It's just not precise enough to have, if you were to glue these in place, bond them as tight as fuck, nothing can move, the chances of any of these. I mean, look at a fucking A&K 249 or 60 gearbox. The chances of your gears sitting like fucking that, when they might be sitting like fucking that, huge, huge chance. So it doesn't matter. Now, if you've got solids, you're not going to have a bearing blow up because they're not in there. You don't need to fucking glue them in. You don't need to bond them in. And at the end of the day, what is going to give you more tension, more hold? What is the toughest of these two options? Super glue or Aral dye or JB Weld or thread lock, or the torque of the motor on 11.1 punching these gears. Which is going to give up first? The previous, not this. What's going to give up first? Anything you stuck that in with. If it does hold, and your gears are perfectly, which they won't be, they absolutely fucking won't be. Even if they were, Because it's so well lined up, you wouldn't need to fucking do it anyway. If you've got multi-million-dollar bits of equipment and that requires very particular pitch perfect fucking everything to be machined, yeah, I get it. I get it. £3 gearbox casing, £5 worth of bushings. It is never going to be as perfect as you fucking think it will be, and gluing them, bonding them, sticking them, wanking on them and sticking them in the sun, that is not going to give it anything that is robust. And then if you get little bits of that, the same as the flash off of the fucking piston, and let's face it, people tell you must polish the inside, you must polish. What if the plastic and the hop unit? What about the bits of fucking super glue and Araldite and fucking JV Weld that's going to chip off? Nah, fuck off. Get in the fucking bin. What else? Right, let's go with some 14s. I don't think it's going to be an issue on this build, so I'm going to do this regardless. Get me a 0.1. A 0.1 is the least amount of shims that I'd ever be putting on the underside of that gear. I can get away with none because this is raised up, but so's this one. So, yeah. Alright. This one, I just popped about 0.6 on one side. I'm going to check it out. I mean, that is standing so fucking high, I'll need to bring it down. How many times have you had it when the screw that goes in there is just too fucking big? It stands up too tall. It's rubbing on the gear. You've got to bring that gear up a bit too much. And then it's sitting just very slightly too high and biting this outside edge of the piston. Yeah? Well, we wallop that one off again for a second. There we go. Right. I'm not going to go into shimming methods because fuck off. What happens if this is just sitting too high and it's biting on the outside of there? Well, the first thing you can try is to reduce the size of that. So here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to take all that back out, including you. I'm not going to show you how I shim this. That infuriates far too many people because I've got a little bit of knowledge where I can go, this is what I need to do. I need to look at it and go this. When you go to hairdresser school, if you are learning exactly how to hold this and that, that's great. But once you've been a hairdresser for a little while, you don't need to be measuring how much of this and looking at that and checking. No, you can just go, yeah, that much. One of my V3 Hybrid Pros. That goes in there. It sits on there. What if you have to bring that down? Ooh, very difficult. Very, 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 very difficult. So, rather than bring this down, there's something else you can do. Now, having this too high is not only going to bite on the outside of here, it's also going to cause your tappet plate to rub. So again, this is where different types of tappet plates come in. What I will say, the main thing, is this hole. What if it's threaded out? I had, in fact, this poor cunt's gum went to a tech, and the hole for the Asta 2 was completely fucking bored out. So when I picked it up, the whole fucking thing just came out. I was like, what? Wasn't even screwed in, so it was completely mangled and wrecked. What happens if you just can't get that? Also, Spetner arms. Oh, you buggers! Because they put their hole on the V2 gearbox. They have that hole with a very, very funny thread. And I never had the right size screws for it. Not never. So I ended up having to make holes for it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to just do this one for the sake of argument. Alright, watch this. I've had to order these in because I was getting too many Come on, Luke. What the fuck? There you go. Jesus, I'm thick. I was getting too many of these where I was like, ah, God, I just don't have the right size screw. This is a 2.5. This one will be a 3. These are very cheap. They're not amazing. They don't last very long, but for airsoft purposes, they're fucking ideal. All right, that's a 3. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to use that. And here's what I'm going to do. And again, actual fucking engineers and people with machining skills and tools, they're going to hate every moment of this. I'm not even going to drill the hole bigger. Not even going to do it. Ready? Watch this. I want to make sure that I'm definitely spot on. And in I go. And we're going super slow. The metal is the crappiest, softest metal you will ever fucking see. We're going a little tiny bit. Start the hole off. You can make the hole bigger with the drill bit if you want to, but because of how soft and shit this metal is, you don't need to. So back in again. Ready? This time I'm going to go in. When I start to see some debris and biting, back out. This is going to guide itself. Okay, and I'm almost all the way through. See, I've done almost nothing with all that. But like I said, the metal is so cheap. You can just power it through. You can also do it properly if you feel like it. I don't mind if you do. I'm just happy with the way I'm doing it, and I know that for what this needs to do, that is now going to cause me absolutely no issues whatsoever. Then I find the correct screw, which is going to be an M3. And then you can select the smallest M3 that you think you can use. So in this case, and I'm just checking. There it is. Now that is tapered, so I don't want to be using that on here because all it's going to do is split this. We don't use that one. But you can see it gives you the option to use any screws that you've got. Obviously, Perrons, where the screw holes are, they don't have anything electronic there, so you don't need to use any kind of insulating washer, but an insulating washer can be useful just to hold the unit in place. That sticks out a fucking mile on the back, but that's okay, because all I'm looking at right now, as you can see, it's miles away from it. See that? Miles away. So I'm happy. So now, I'm going to shorten that down. Okay, done. Now I'm going to thread lock it. But only with the most minor of thread lock. This is just 243, it's very weak. It does the job. Okay, so you go. That's in there beautiful and tight. Awesome. So, let's get into shimming this. I'll do the build and whatever else. You've just seen a couple of little tips. I've got another great one at the end for you.
I'm fucking beautiful. I'm the prettiest thing I've ever seen. God, I love myself.
Up next, sector delay chips. The amount of times I get told you've put that on backwards. And it's like, have I? Oh. Then why is it feeding and running properly? And that's because there are different types and brands of sector delay chips that all do different things. So let's look at how that lines up, right? There's the bite. Perfectly flat. There's the roll. There's the drop and the grab. And there it is. Now you can put it on the other way. It depends if you want to pick it up slightly earlier and release it slightly earlier. There are many ways of doing this, and there's many different kinds of shapes. There's triangular ones, teardrop shaped, round ones. It depends what you're doing with the build. Now this one, I intend to keep the full fin on the tappet plate. One thing I am going to look at is when the tappet plate is all the way forward, is it pulling on the fin? Look at that. See how it's riding up in the air? Even if I bring it, because it's very hard to make it sit perfectly level, right? So if I let that just sit there, look at that big gap. Right? So, I need to make sure that the tappet plate is able to rest naturally, perfectly forward, without dragging on there. So, I'm going to remove a tiny bit of material from in there. Check out the shape of it when I go back in again. That is now resting all the way forward. Let's get all that fucking shit off. Come on, Luke, idiot cunt. So now, look how it's naturally resting at the front of the gearbox casing, and it's not resting on the axle. It's touching the axle, but it's not resting on it and pulling it. That's ideal. So now, when I go with that, bum 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 bum, bonk. That is now not correct. It wants to be, almost. So I need to remove a smidgen off of here, right on this corner, or just remove the fin. Guess which I'm going to do. Now let's check it out. I will neaten it up a bit more in a second. There's no point making it completely perfect if I've got to do some more to it. It bites. It picks up. It drops onto there. Boom. Ideal. And then there. That's how I'm going to rock this one. This won't be, if I put this in a different gun, it might not even work properly. It might work fine. It might snap after 2 rounds. It might go for 100,000 rounds and then snap. It's all about individual, what do I think is best for this build. And this all comes down to the fact that I'm using 13:1 gears and a reasonably torquey brushed motor. What I am going to do though is I'm going to keep his original nozzle because it's brand new and there's nothing wrong with it. No point changing something. There's nothing wrong with it and I don't think it's going to cause an issue. So here we go. Make sure the parts are in. Piston straight. Boom. Give it a spin. See what it says. Brings it back. There it is. Starts to pick up the tooth. That goes forward now. Bum, 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 bum. Lots of loading time. You feel me? That's how I do it. Trying a new Tappet plate spring today. I sent some samples. I'll give them a go. There's you. See? No fucking trigger spring, isn't that great? M110 to start with. And technically, that should do it. Here's the fun bit. Loads of little ways that you can make your life easier if you want to. But that's how I'm going to do this one. I've got one hand completely free. That's you on there. And then you on there. Pop you out. And hopefully I made that look a piece of piss. That's you. That's you. I believe we're together. I've got somebody sending back to me any time now an LCT AK that I did for him, where everything LCT to its 100% completion was removed, apart from one part, his trigger. And he messaged me last night, was it last night, Saturday night, going, playing Airsoft right now, it's not recognising the trigger every so often. And he showed me, and his entire trigger moves like this, and it's like, fuck. The only LCT part, and it snapped. He's literally broke his trigger. Like, if anything, I've not seen that on an LCT, but it goes to show that no matter how fucking careful you are with something, no matter how you push yourself with the build, get some grease on there. Yeah, yeah. Some things are always out of your control. We do a quick test just by plugging in some power. Because of the build, I know that I'm going to be suggesting 11.1 realistically. And bear in mind, he does have an Arcturus motor, which is hopefully going to be the best for this build, but I do want to see what this performs like. Standard power. So, are we ready? I mean, that's actually fucking amazing. I might actually keep that motor. Oh yeah. I mean, fuck off, that's amazing. Yeah! Not changing that. No sense.
Stop the brain! Let nothing
semi. We're good. Okay, so safe. There's bad news coming up. Safe. Full, which I've got set to burst. Semi. That is excellent. This is fucking funny. Right? There's a ridge. Your barrel isn't correctly made. It's right at the bottom, so if I were to... Let me pop something inside the feed hole, right? And I'm going to point to it. Ready? Right at the front, so not this side, front side. That lip. And let me go in through this way, and I'll show you. Ready? There. What's happening is, rather than your barrel being in nice and straight like that, it's like that. I've got to change your hop unit. You look at it with a hop rubber in nut. Look at that. That's fucking atrocious. Right, hopefully this is going to come out okay. Camera fucked. You saw it flashing. I only noticed once I went back to watch the video. Like I said, I'm not doing all the video again because it's free entertainment. Fuck you. You want to complain, complain. We know Neg don't give a fuck. But I've now got an emergency camera I'm running. Hopefully this is going to be fine. But it's the second time I'm having to do this end section. So this turned out absolutely fucking gorgeous. I am so happy with this. And there's gardeners, but I don't have... This is going to be posted out today, so I don't have time to redo this shit. So, again, fuck you. This came out absolutely gorgeous. Now, the owner did a couple of little things. He put some super glue on here rather than tightening up the screw at the back, because, you know, Airsoft customers. This is firing absolutely fucking gorgeously. Let's just plug a battery in. Here we go. This is going to be rocking 11.1. There's our beep. I was so happy with the SEMA motor in this, because it is brand new, that I decided to keep it. Safe? Thank you. Burst. That is lovely. Semi. Honestly, I'm over the moon with that. The shot-to-shot consistency is beautiful, if I've got time to do it. I'm also just going to fuck up this box. That's just my simple solution on this. Because again, time. So 2/8. Semi. 1.09. 1.08, 1.09, 1.1, 1.09, 1.08, 1.08, 1.08, 1.08, 1.07, 1.09, 1.08. It is happy. And I'll wham some over here in burst fire. It is lovely. There was one other thing that I had, like a little tip, that I'm not going to be able to redo for you because I've already done it. So I've got to find a way around this. People who put sticky stuff on their stock tube, Velcro or whatever else, and blah, 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 blah. You know you don't need to do that, right? You haven't got to take the fucking, I've got a nice thing, so I'm going to just make it cruddy with sticky tape and all that shit. No, there's a much simpler route. I've already done it to this one for the previous video. I'm going to do it with a random stock. If you have wobble, does this one have wobble? I bet it fucking doesn't. Yeah, it does. Look at that. So wobble, yeah. If there's wobble, you can do something about it. Ready? Heat gun. If it's wobbling up and down, you want to compress it very slightly in this direction. If it's going side to side like that, you want to go side to side. So I'm going to put this into something nice and tight. You can use cable ties and pull it tight, but I'm just going to put it in a vise. Let it cool down while it's still in the vise. Okay, and if we try the up and down, there's now no movement. I've not done the left to right, but that is a very quick, easy, and seamless solution. Simple, right? Okay, let's fuck this off. So yes, I am extremely happy with this. This worked out beautifully. You would never know from looking at this gum that it wasn't completely brand new unless you really stared at the front there. But as you can see, I have cleaned all that off as per the video. I pray that this video quality is good enough to use because I won't have an ending to my video. I've got one quick job to do for somebody. I did the gun for the guy a year and a half ago, more than that. And it's the first time he's used it, and it's got a problem. Now, I did it really cheap, and I gave him free parts, and obviously, definitely test something within the first year and a half of owning the thing. Just saying, just saying.